Do you have a reoccurring dream that is just like haunting you no matter what? Like deep down, you feel like there's a calling on your life to write a book, start a business, or just go after that thing, whatever it is, but you just simply haven't? If that's the case, you've already met the enemy, and his name is resistance. So today on Benzie's Book Club, we're breaking down The War of Art by Steven Pressfield, a tough love guide for anyone who's tired of getting in their own way. This book was released in 2002, over 20 years ago. It's 165 pages, but don't let that fool you. It's been quoted by athletes, artists, entrepreneurs, and even military leaders. Why? I think it's because it's not a book about creativity. It's a book that talks about the real fight that we face as creatives to live a creative life. And it doesn't sugarcoat anything, which I love. In fact, Steven Pressfield says every time you sit down to do your soul's work, whether that's painting, writing, running, healing, no matter what it is, that there's a very powerful force working against you, and he calls it resistance. So part 1 talks about defining the enemy, which is resistance. So what is resistance? Resistance is invisible, it's internal, and it's brutal. It looks like procrastination, but it sounds like, I'll just do it tomorrow. But it feels like fear, distraction, and self-doubt. Resistance tells you to wait until you're ready, that you're not good enough, and that somebody else has already done it or is doing it way better than you ever could. Pressfield says resistance is a liar, and it grows stronger the closer we get to the life that we're meant to live. And I felt this hard when I decided to finally start this channel, because I had been dreaming of sharing my book journey for like a year before I actually ever recorded my first video. And every day, it just seemed like resistance gave me another reason not to. But when I read this book, I felt so seen, because I feel like somebody handed me the tools to really take the pressure off myself and say, like, I'm not lazy, I'm not unmotivated, and I'm not disciplined. It's simply that I'm fighting against something that I have to be well equipped for, if that makes sense. And once I kind of had that perspective shift, things became a lot easier and like more fun to begin creating. So part 1 was defining the enemy, aka resistance. Part 2 is combating resistance, and Pressfield talks about combating it by turning pro. And this is the heart of the book. By turning pro, he means going professional versus staying amateur. And here's how he compares and contrasts the two. Amateurs work when they feel like it. Pros work no matter what. Amateurs seek validation. Pros seek mastery. Amateurs fear failure. Pros accept it as part of the process. And going pro doesn't mean making buku money doing what you're doing. It just simply means showing up like it's your job. No excuses, and no sitting waiting around for inspiration, and definitely not hitting social media to check your likes first. One of my favorite quotes reads, "Resistance will kill you. It will pervert your love into hate, your devotion into despair." This part was so real for me, because I realized that I like to sugarcoat things sometimes. I like to make things seem not as bad as they are, or not really call them out for what they are sometimes. And in doing that, I feel like I might be taking a step back in the wrong direction rather than a step forward towards the life or skills I said I wanted. Because I really realized how many times like I let resistance disguised as me like win. How many days I didn't write, how many days I didn't read, how many days I didn't run, how many days I didn't film. But I love this book because it really reminded me, like, you don't have to feel ready. You just gotta be willing to sit down and do the work no matter what. Part 3 of this book is called Beyond Resistance, the Higher Realm, but this is where we get like spiritual. Pressfield says that when we do our work, we align with something greater than ourselves. He talks about angels, muses, God, and not like in a preachy way, but in a more like admiring the creator way, viewing creativity as sacred. That when we sit down and align with our calling, we're actually co-creating with the divine. He also talks about the difference between living in a hierarchy, which is when you're comparing yourself to others, which is so easy to do in today's age with social media. We have access at the click of a button to see what anybody is doing anywhere around the world if we want to. Versus living in your territory, which is where you do the work because it's genuinely who you are. And I love this idea that like our dreams were assigned to us each individually for a reason, for a purpose, and that when we commit to what we really want to do and who we see ourselves really becoming, the universe responds to help us achieve our goal. And that's what I feel like this channel is for me. It's my territory. So now I'm going to give you 5 key takeaways that I think every creative needs and would benefit from this book. Number 1, resistance is real and it's never going away. The sooner you can identify the problem, the sooner you can strategize to defeat it and win and become the victor. And we're all about W's, not L's over here. So if you know that resistance comes for you during certain times of the day or during certain seasons or in certain situations, you can be better equipped to overcome it. Number 2, you have to show up anyway. You can put any excuse before it. I feel tired. You have to show up anyway. I'm sad. You have to show up anyway. I'm broke. You have to show up anyway. Nobody supports me. You have to show up anyway. See? Like magic. Number 3, professionals don't wait to feel inspired. If you are waiting to feel inspired, you are wrong. Instead of waiting to feel inspired, I would encourage you to work on your discipline. Discipline is going to get you way farther than inspiration ever could because it's going to piggyback off of number 2 and number 1. When you don't feel like it, your discipline is going to get you there. And when you face resistance, you're going to have to depend on your discipline to get you through. Number 4, do the work because you love it, not for the applause. When you're starting out, nobody's gonna support you. Nobody's gonna know who you are. Nobody's gonna be bringing anything to the table that you can use besides you. Really. So in knowing that, expect to suck, expect to not have support, expect to be amateur, but be willing to learn and be willing to show up. And the love for the thing, whatever it is, will keep you going. Number 5, it is your responsibility to answer your calling. I think accepting responsibility for yourself and for your life gives you a different perspective that you wouldn't have gained otherwise. It allows you to be the victor instead of the victim, that when you take responsibility, you really take ownership of what's going on in your life and how you react and respond to it to get the outcomes that you desire. You don't just let life happen to you. So if you've ever felt stuck, scared, or like you're just wasting your precious time, that your younger years are just passing you by, or life is just passing you by, this book might be your wake-up call. I highly recommend The War of Art to anyone who's trying to build something meaningful, especially if you've been battling with self-doubt or you're just burnt out. It's short, it's intense, and I think it reads like Steve is your older brother, really like telling you to stop making excuses and just get up and go out there and do the work. So my final rating of this book, I give this book a 5 out of 5 stars. I love it because it doesn't just motivate you, it calls you up and it calls you out. Thanks for watching another episode of Benzie's Book Club. If you felt this one, be sure to drop a comment below and let me know what's one way you're finally gonna show up for your dream this week. Also, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this with one of your favorite creatives who might need a little push this week. I'm dropping new reviews every week because we're doing the work together.